What we have here is another Encon Crompton Greaves. This time another 56-inch, but for wood blade. So, some of you know, Encon Crompton Greaves were sold in a bunch of flavors, bunch of different blade sets, bunch of different combinations. 3-blade, 4-blade, no light, or light kit adaptable, reversible, non-reversible. This one is light kit adaptable. Now, motors and blades were sold separately, so you could mix and match. So, this one had the Fluer De Lis irons, right? And it had the little dummy switch switch housing, rather. You know, in place for a light. It was a placeholder, essentially. So, what you would do is remove that silly thing, right? Then put on either a nipple or a light kit. And this one has the nipple. Nice pasty nipple. Anyway, yeah, so like I was saying, it has the, I feel like the blades and irons had the corresponding nipple included. So, this is what this one has. Like I said, it's a 56-inch span. Encon made these from 1975 to 1982. Abruptly stopping in 82 because why? Because Crompton Greaves became too expensive for Encon, and Encon found a cheaper OEM in Firebird. So how does this thing perform? Let's see. Let's see. For the purpose of testing, I am using it on a Newtone 4-speed control rated for 1.5 amps. The yoke doesn't have a bushing, which I didn't have one handy. So, is in fact what it is. The low speed is actually very good. And one thing I will note is that these Crompton Greaves motors are not very good with solid state variable speed controls. They don't like them. They will cut out at a certain low speed. So, and they just don't respond very well to them. So they like capacitor-based controls or the original choke controls. Motor in this one is cast aluminum. That's the case with all Encon CGs. Blades are solid wood. Most of them were made of teak. So the blade options were white, white with cane, teak, teak with cane, and I think there was rosewood, like matte rosewood. It was an option, perhaps late in the run, or maybe they just weren't selling very well, or maybe they're too expensive, but yeah, those don't surface, and yet I know where a whole bunch are. I'll have to show it at some point. Anyway, so now let's just go to medium low. The bearings sound like a bunch of rocks in a blender, but can't say I'm overly surprised. This was a Florida fan, a hell fan, if you will. So, very moisture-ridden, humid, just ugh. Some of you might remember this one on VintageCeilingFans.com. That's because this fan originally belonged to Adam DeBoer. He had to sell his house, a lot of the stuff had to go, found its way into the hands of another collector, and then into mine. So, price was right, couldn't resist. This medium low is really more like a pretty good medium. You know, it's got a medium high. It's a medium high. Yeah, it's medium high. Pretty standard. You know what's interesting about this motor is it's only rated for 1200 millimeters or 120 centimeters, or in English terms, 48 inches. Yet it seems to run fine with 56. I don't know why they only rated it that large. Because these motors are all good for 56. Or at least this particular size was. Oh yeah, these things came 42, 48, or 56. This one being 56. Came metal blades or wood blades. A lot of people see the small 3-blade industrial and think, oh, 36. No, you gotta actually measure it. It's actually 42 inches. I got messed up on that, so If you want true 36 inch, that only came in what's known as the Encon Princess, which came 29 inch or 36 inch, and good luck finding those, especially in 29. But you'll know by the motor being very, let's just say smushed. The motor looked like it was smushed. Go full blast. There is a noticeable speed uptick, which means that no, it does not hit the resonant frequency like I had initially thought with the industrial variant. This one's actually geared pretty well for this control. I like it. There's a little bit of wobble, which isn't overly surprising. I'm sure one of the blades is a little out of true. Gotta be careful with these irons though, because they're cast aluminum. Wouldn't say pot metal, otherwise they'd snap, but definitely aluminum, so very, very gentle. Moves a pretty good amount of air, although not as much as, say, an original or something like that. It'd be better with the metal blades for that purpose. And again, rocks in the blender. Turn it off. This is the non-reversible motor. Because a lot of these did come reversible. At least towards the later end of the run. The way you can tell these are early is by looking at the canopy. If it's a shorter tiered canopy, different from the lower canopy, yeah, it's old. If the upper canopy is the same as the lower canopy, it is, in fact, a little more recent. But there you have it. A wood blade 56-inch Encon Crompton Greaves.